Hi, I'm Cherie, Churchill Librarian, and I'm really excited to read to you today Manjhi Moves a Mountain. This book is by Nancy Churnin, illustrated by Danny Popovici. And this is a pretty amazing story. It is a biography, which we know is a true story about a person's life, and I think you will like it. Deep in the heart of India, a mighty mountain separated two villages. On Manjhi's side, nothing grew. People were hungry. Children gave up walking the 40 long miles to school on the other side of the mountain. Adults groaned on the jagged long climb to plow the fields or shop at the market. On the other side, rice and wheat flourished and flowered. People's bellies were full and their pockets jangled with money. Every day, Manjhi paused at the top of the mountain to catch his breath and gaze at the two villages. Why should some people have so much and others so little? So this is a pretty good question for life. You can see the differences between this village. It looks like they don't have a lot. Their trees are bare. It doesn't look like there's a lot going on. And then this village, the buildings look a little bit nicer. There are trees. There are lots of animals. Seems like there's some fields, so it looks like a little bit of a nicer place. Manjhi tried to think of an answer as he made his way down the mountain to plant and harvest on the other side. If only the two villages were closer. If only a road between them were easier. If only there were a way to move a mountain. Now, is there a way to move a mountain? No. Frustrated, he picked up a stone and threw it down. Crack! He saw a sprinkle of powder. He knelt down and felt it between his fingers. That was it! Manjhi hurried to his hut to search for something to trade. He had nothing anyone would want except 3 goats. He gently looped ropes around their necks and searched until he found someone who would trade a worn hammer and a chisel for them. It seemed like a good trade to get a hammer and a chisel for 3 goats. Let's see what Manjhi thinks. He hurried back to the top of the mountain. He positioned the chisel. He aimed. He swung the hammer. Clink! Powdered rock and tiny chips sprayed. Over and over, Manjhi swung until it was too dark to see. Clink! Clank! Clunk! His sweaty, throbbing fingers rubbed the rough rock. He felt a dent. It was small and bumpy, but it was there. 2 inches, 3 inches. His shoulders ached, his head pounded, but his heart was lighter. He picked his way down the mountain and across the dirt path. He tumbled into bed. All too soon a rooster crowed. Manjhi rubbed his eyes. His hands were raw with blisters. Still he climbed the mountain. He gripped the hammer and pounded the chisel for hours. Hold, aim, swing. Then he scrambled down to hoe, water, and weed on the other side. As soon as he could, he rushed back up. Hold, aim, and swing. So think about if you have any ideas about what he's trying to do. Day after day, Manjhi clutched the hammer and chisel. Hold, aim, swing. Night after night, he slid dusty fingers into the holes, measuring 1 feet, 2 feet. After a week, he could crouch inside. 4 feet, 5 feet. See, right there? You're crazy, people told him. A man can't change a mountain. It's there before he's born and after he dies. But Manjhi could see something they couldn't. The parting of the mountain into 2 great halves with a road in between. A road where people could get to work, to market, to school, even to the hospital more easily. Nothing could stop him. Not words, not time, not even the mountain which sent chips and powder tumbling down his shoulders, whitening his hair. A year passed. Every day Manjhi was a little stronger and the hole a little deeper and longer. 10 feet forward, 20 feet forward. 10 years passed. It was still too far for children to walk to the school. The sick often couldn't get to the clinic in time, and the villagers spent countless hours climbing to work in the fields and shop in the markets. But Manjhi didn't slow down. Hold, aim, swing! He pushed forward. 30 feet forward. 50 feet forward. The sides of the hole towered over his body. After 15 years, people started to see what he saw. Adults who had been children when he began marveled. Children who had never known a time when he wasn't striking the mountain watched in awe. So you see what he's doing right here? Pretty amazing. 100 feet forward, 200 feet forward. Now each time he returned to his task, Manjhi could see that his helping hands had made the hole a little longer than he left it. He found food waiting for him too. Baskets of warm roti dripping with melted ghee. Tins of spicy dal tickled his nose. Yum, that sounds really good. Once he unwrapped a cloth to find a shiny new hammer and chisel glinting in the sun. So what does it sound like? Does it sound like people are believing in him and people think this is a good project? By the 22nd year, whispers swept through both villages. Every day, more people gathered. Parents lifted their little ones on their shoulders so they could see the other side. They wondered if this would be the day. Hold, aim, swing! Men, women, and children held their breath. Manjhi could hear his heart beating as loudly as the hammer hitting the rock. Hold, aim, swing! Swoosh! Where once a mighty mountain stood, there was nothing but open space and broken rocks. So what has Manjhi done? Manjhi looked from one village to the other, but for the first time there weren't two villages. There was just one, sharing water, hopes, dreams, and a man who had moved a mountain. So did he really move the mountain? So I'm going to read the author's note, which author's notes usually give you a little bit more context for the story, sometimes too many details to put in the book. Dashrath Manjhi was born in 1934 and died August 17, 2007 at the age of 73. Using only a chisel and a hammer, he took 22 years from 1960 to 1982 to cut a road 360 feet long, 30 feet high, and 25 feet wide through a mountain that blocked Galar, his village near Gaya in Bihar, India. From Wazirganj, which had running water, doctors, a school, and jobs. For most of those years, Manjhi was ridiculed for pursuing an impossible goal. Not only was he a poor laborer, he was a Shudra from one of the lowest castes in the Hindu society. Those who follow the caste system believe people must live in certain places and have different access to jobs, schools, hospitals, and land according to the group which they're born. Manjhi began the task for his wife, Falguni Devi, who died in 1959, supporting his dream. For some, the story of Manjhi's parting of the mountain is a love story done in dedication to his wife who had difficulty getting medical care. So do you see why that may have wanted to inspire him to go to build this road? It's been compared to how the great Emperor Shah Jahan of India built the Taj Mahal as a tomb for his wife. From 1632 to 1643, another image that comes to mind is that of the Hindu god Krishna, who is said to have lifted Mount Govardhan to shelter a group of villagers from the rain. What began as a labor for Manjhi's wife evolved into a determination to help his entire village, one of about 60 in the rocky, remote area, by shortening a treacherous 34-mile hike to a manageable 9-mile walk across a safe road. He changed everyone's lives for the better and gave them hope that there was nothing that couldn't be done if you believed and persevered. When the Indian government gave Manjhi land as a reward for his impressive achievement, he donated it to his village for a hospital to be built there. The road he had carved made it easier for teachers to come to his village, creating a new school. Not only did the road make it easier for villagers to reach the world, it made it easier for the world to reach them. Manjhi is honored in his village and all across India as the Mountain Man. So I hope this story inspires you to think about, sometimes it seems like things are really impossible, that's the way things are, that there's no way around it, but Manjhi saw something that seemed like it was impossible and he thought, what can I do to change things? What can I do to make it better? And he thought of a pretty amazing solution, and he actually did move a mountain. Thanks so much for listening, and keep on reading.